All right, we're starting here in Nigeria on this Nigeria newspapers. Let's see what we can share with you over there. Pretty interesting ones. Of course, it says there, this one did big headlines yesterday with a lot on social media with videos. It says prolonged ASUU strike, NANS protests ground Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Students will continue to occupy major highways until schools resume. Not sure if they're aware that the federal government has sued ASUU, so that might take a bit, seeing the pace of Nigeria's justice system. Also, MTF FSP, Senate frowns on 6 trillion naira tax import duty waivers in 2023 budget. Nigeria spends 15.8 billion naira on weapons and ammunition importation in the first half of 2022. And also, DSS gets court's approval to detain terrorist negotiator Tuko Mamu, if you remember, for 60 days. Finally, on this Nigeria, we want justice, equity. Ndigbo tells Buhari. The president promises development projects in Imo. Those are the stories on this Nigeria this morning.
All right, we're still staying here in Nigeria, looking at the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch, Atiku Okowa rubbish APC over Muslim ticket. And the economy, they say unemployment rose by 54% to 68 million Nigerians being poorer under Buhari. Muslim ticket dangerous for troubled nation like Nigeria, Okowa tells APC. Northern can restates opposition to same faith ticket. I have done well, says Buhari. At the top of the paper, we have Angola, Libya overtake Nigeria in crude production according to OPEC. Details of that on page 27, page 21, I beg your pardon. Tinubu held the APC tells Obi decries defections. Senate minister disagree over 12 trillion naira budget deficit. VP slot, Okowa most qualified. IU tells critics. And at the bottom of the paper, you can see a photograph there. It's a motorists stranded as students block Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Of course, this is because they are protesting the indefinite strike by ASUU. Police get 431 petitions over cops' misconduct. Details of that on page 30. Ogun kinship tussle claims 3 lives, houses burned. And the final story this morning on the Punch newspaper. Oh, we have 2. Senate begins oil theft probe in Niger Delta on page 23. And the final story here is my life under threat over Queen Elizabeth's tweet. And this is by Professor Uchuanya. Of course, we talked about this tweet that went viral. But that's what we can take this morning on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Oh, it's,
numb to see the Nigerian National Assembly talk about probing, one thing or the other. The challenge that I feel like a lot of Nigerians have is, the outcome of any of these probes, has never really produced anything, and this is with regard in every single time that they've done it, with the NDDC, with the Nigerian Railway Corporation, with the, immigration, whatever, name it. There's always one probe or the other, if you remember. They, of course, threatened, impeachment not long ago and said that, they were giving the president 6 weeks.
That's water under the bridge.
That's, so it's also always interesting to see, the Senate is going to be probing this or that, but just nothing really ever comes out.
I think another aspect to it would be the fact that Nigerians, in some way, we do have a short-term memory. We don't remember for too long. We're easily distracted. We move on from one thing to the next trending thing.
Yeah.
So maybe one other aspect we must look forward to, even as we're inching closer to 2023 elections, is to be able to hold our leaders, our lawmakers accountable. If you say you're going to make a probe, we must ask the questions. What is the result of this probe? If not, everybody will move on and forget that, and they'll jump to the next trending story.
Well, I agree. All right, let's move to Kenya this morning and see what's on the Daily Nation newspapers. You can see a very beautiful picture of, new President William Ruto. It says this decision 2022, as Uhuru exits, his successor pledges a new order. Ruto takes over. It goes on to say William Ruto takes over from Uhuru Kenyatta as the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya in a colorful ceremony we did get to share with you yesterday. It was a live feed from the inauguration at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, attended by more than 20 African heads of state. With the symbolic transfer of the instruments of power, the president takes leadership of a nation in the throes of an economic meltdown characterized by high food and commodity prices, huge public debt, and an ever-wielding tax deficit hole. Which, of course, we wish William Ruto the best, and of course Kenyans, most importantly, the best. And you can find more of that on pages 2 to 13, actually. And just, a few riders to that story. Judiciary, praising the judiciary as living the true spirit of the Constitution. The president promises to allocate it an additional 3 billion shillings and at the same time appoints to office 6 judges rejected by Uhuru. Also, subsidies given with one hand and taken away with another. Ruto signals tough times ahead as he urges, or rather argues, against fuel and maize subsidies, both of which could cross the 200 million shillings mark in coming days. That's on page 12. I'm just going to throw in one more, and this is in agriculture. In promises straight from his previous assignment as agriculture minister, Ruto pledges to bring down the cost of farm inputs with specific quick wins in the reduction of fertilizer products. That's on page 4, and those are the stories that we have on the Daily Nation.
All right, now let's head over to Namibia, where we're looking at some stories here. On the front page of the paper, we can see President proposes job interviews for SWAPO candidates. British diplomat pushes gain job on his choice of successor. Kapofi fraud suspect says he feels unsafe. And at the top of the paper, Impalila plane crash victims' bodies yet to be repatriated. Now, this, of course, the plane that took off from Impalila Island airstrip and crashed on the bank of Zambezi River. The bodies are yet to be repatriated, unfortunately. Then we have King Kali spreads love, peace through music. Gawaxiap calls on banks to fund productive sector. But I'm particularly interested in the story here. You can see the president of Namibia shaking hands with the now deceased Queen of England. And the caption says, "I had tea with the Queen." President to sacrifice United Nations meeting to attend Queen's funeral. He says, and I quote, "I am not a one-man show, but I will miss it because I have to be at the funeral."
Okay.
Okay, let us know what your thoughts are on this story. The president of the country says that he would not be at the United Nations meeting. He won't be at the United Nations meeting because he has to attend the Queen's funeral. Of course, our president sent a representative. The vice president of Nigeria is attending the vice president is attending William Ruto's inauguration.
The inauguration.
But
well, the president was in Imo yesterday while the vice president was in Kenya.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to see how important it is for the president of the Namibian president to be in the UK for a burial if there is
a United Nations meeting.
Yeah.
So what's the value of the importance attached to it?
I have no idea.
Anyway.